Okay, it is 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting of council to order and acknowledge that the city of Winkler is situated on Treaty 1 land, home to, and that Councillor Platt is joining us digitally. I will ask you in each instance when we're voting, Marvin, to vote verbally so that we also know where you are.
Hello.
Any changes to the agenda based on what you see?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of July 28th, 2026 be adopted. Mover?
Ryan.
Second.
Don.
You've had a chance to review them. Any concerns with those minutes?
No.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. We have nothing in correspondence today. It takes us to finance. Be it resolved that accounts payable in the amount of $914,588.80, as approved by the Finance Committee, be approved for payment. Mover?
Andrew.
Second.
Ryan.
The check register is attached as always. You've had a chance to review them. Anything that you'd like additional information on? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. That takes us to protective services. Be it resolved that the Winkler Fire Department report for July 2026 be received for information. Mover?
Ryan.
Second.
Marvin.
Thank you, Marvin. It's attached there. Is there anything that we should note or anything that needs to be pointed out?
Well, I think you will see that our projected calls and our calls to date are a fair bit ahead of last year. So hopefully that trend will not continue. I think since I've left our home, we haven't had a call yet, so maybe that'll help.
So if that continues to be the case, then maybe you get to stay away for September as well.
Yeah.
All kidding aside, you are right though. We're trending month over month.
Mm-hmm.
We're trending up a little bit. I think at some point in time, if those projections continue, it's going to become a strain on our service and on their budget. But so far, I don't know that I've heard any concerns yet from the chief. Okay. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that the Pembina Valley Regional Airport Steering Committee minutes for the July 21st, 2026 meeting be received for information. Mover?
Don.
Second.
Peter.
The minutes are there for your review. They are locked because this is an item of a preliminary nature and initial discussions are ongoing. So it's important that those discussions are able to be had freely and openly, so we can't unlock them yet. Do we have any comments on those minutes and what you see?
Nope.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that the Winkler District Healthcare Board meeting minutes for May 25th, 2026 and June 22nd, 2026 be received for information. Mover?
Marvin.
Second.
Don.
They are attached. Is there anything particular there we should be aware of or something that you'd like to highlight?
We've done our vision statement and we're on to the next phase now. We're working on developing a plan on how we can go towards the next stage, which will be to update the whole facility and also to add a couple of rooms and so on, so that as we accommodate more positions that there'll be room for them to come.
Excellent. It's really good to see signs around communities saying that the clinic is accepting new patients. We haven't been in that place in a really long time, and to be that healthy in terms of doctor recruitment is very good to see. Not seeing anything else. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Whereas Council of the City of Winkler passed resolution number 2026-0113 on April 14th, 2026, respecting subdivision application number 4463-25-8505. Whereas subsequent review immediately after identified an administrative error or omission in the wording of that resolution, and whereas council provided notice of its intent to reconsider the resolution in accordance with section 11.4 of the City of Winkler Procedure Bylaw, and whereas council wishes to correct that administrative error by clarifying and adding the appropriate conditions without altering the original intent of council's decision. Therefore, be it resolved that council hereby reconsiders and rescinds resolution number 2026-0113 passed on April 14th, 2026, respecting subdivision application number 4463-25-8505, and that council replaces it with the following resolution. Be it resolved that council approve subdivision number 4463-25-8505, subject to rezoning, drainage and water surfacing easements, city approval of final engineering plans and a development agreement. Terms and conditions of the development agreement will be in accordance with the city's report to council. Mover.
Don?
Second.
Peter?
You've all seen the note to council there. You've heard the preamble here. My apologies. Does anyone have any questions? It's clear as mud.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2377-26 be given first reading. Mover?
Ryan.
Second?
Don?
Thank you. That is a bylaw to rezone subdivision 8501 Pine Ridge West. This is, as always, first reading. It simply puts it on the table and allows the rest of the procedure to happen. Any questions before we move it on? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. That takes us to delegations and hearings. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover?
Peter?
Second?
Ryan.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. We have a public hearing for bylaw number 2364-26 for the secondary planned amendment. Is there anything, Wendy, that you'd like to start the process off on?
Well, I'll just explain, I guess, for public hearings, we ask that anyone, if they're here, that wishes to speak to the matter, whether it's for or against, they can come to the podium and give their name and speak to that. And then after, council may have questions for you. But yeah, the public hearing is to amend maps 1 to 6 of the Growing Winkler secondary plan, as listed in Schedule A. And really the key changes in that were updates to land use designations, revisions to the planned road network alignment and active transportation networks, Northlands West and Southlands East, updates to future access management affecting PTH 14, relocation of proposed future park space in Pine Ridge West. And that is to better align with the MSTW plan.
Excellent. Thank you, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's anybody in chambers. We have one guest. I'm not sure if you're here to speak to this. And I'll ask you to come to the microphone if you wouldn't mind, please.
Kevin Driedger, and this may not be the perfect place as this is an amendment, but I guess my one concern when I look at these maps is I see a lot of sprawling R1, which I understand, but I also then I see people being moved or housing further and further away from services and resources. You know, with this map, I think some people will have to drive 2 miles to get to a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I'm not a city planner. I don't know these details, but whether it's possible to insert a block or two of commercial in amongst some residential zones. So there's like space for a coffee shop, a restaurant, some of those kind of things, so that people's relationship with their neighborhood isn't simply leaving it, but that there's actually commercial, yeah. So that, because we also know that transportation, the further you move people out, the further you move people away from resources, the more transportation becomes an issue. And so it's just, it's a concern that I raise. That's simply it.
Excellent. Appreciate the comments. Thank you, Kevin. Council? Any comments towards? Any questions of?
Is there is there a formula that's used out there somewhere that certain things should be within a certain distance? I think schools get placed into residential areas for exactly that reason. And I think normally there is some room for commercial in most residential or most new subdivisions, right?
And I see that Stephanie Jans, our manager of planning and permitting, is here. I'm wondering if you'd like to speak to that.
Yes, Stephanie Jans, Planning and Permitting Manager. So it's an interesting observation because this particular amendment does remove planned commercial and neighborhood center plans from Pine Ridge West. Those land designations were intended for a more diverse mix of housing and local amenities. In this particular case, the developer has a preference for single-family neighborhoods. Single-family, there is a market demand right now, in particular, for residential single-family homes. That is something that the council can deliberate on. In some ways, the province views, in their report, they identified that in some ways it's better to keep commercial uses on one side of the highway because it sort of creates more traffic concerns with PTH 14 in particular. One of the reasons the developer wants the land use changed is because they also don't want to construct a road at Highway 14, which is also proposed to be removed from this plan. Your concern about services in neighborhoods is valid though, and our zoning bylaw does make provision for small coffee shops, small stores and things in the R1 neighborhood. It's just there hasn't been a push by the market to sort of enter those neighborhoods as of yet. So it's not prohibited, it just needs to be of appropriate neighborhood scale.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. I don't see anybody else in chambers with comments. Have we heard anything through our advertising? Have we received any written submissions? Haven't seen anything there. Council? Do you have any other questions before we close the hearing?
Just one other comment. I mean,
Please.
removing the connection to the highway for the road, but there's still a walkway planned to connect to the pathway, correct?
Yeah, so we actually had conversations with highways very recently about that. As of right now, we have a traffic impact study that is not planning a pedestrian crossing with signal lights at Park Street. The idea is we want to direct pedestrians and cyclists to either Dickens or 15th Street,
Okay.
where there's controlled crossings. I don't know if there's anything else to say to that.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Not seeing anything further from council. Be it resolved that the public hearing for the secondary plan amendment bylaw number 2364-26 be closed. Mover.
Ryan.
Ryan got it. Marvin got the second. Final thoughts? Hearing is closed if you're in favor.
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that the secondary plan amendment bylaw number 2364-26 be given second reading. Mover.
Peter.
Second.
Don.
Andrew?
To get Andrew.
Andrew got it. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that secondary plan amendment bylaw number 2364-26 be read a third and final time. Mover?
Ryan.
Second.
Don.
Last chance for questions or comments. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Be it resolved that public hearings be adjourned and regular council reconvene. Mover?
Andrew.
Second.
Peter,
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. We don't have any additions. We don't have any other business. Questions from media or public relevant to this meeting of council? Not seeing anything from our sole guest. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover.
Ryan.
Marvin.
Brian got it. Marvin got the second. All in favor?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Have a good evening.